Welcome back to Tuesday, where we check out the Scholarium, Tel Var Merchant, and Infinite Archive vendors all at once. Let's see what they have new for us today. Okay, first up is Bound Affix Script Force. Adds force, a buff increasing critical damage. Bound Affix Script Uncertainty. Adds uncertainty, a debuff reducing weapon critical damage. Bound Focus Script Immobilize. Adds an immobilization effect. And Bound Signature Script Wayfarer's Mastery. Adds improved functionality of skill line passives. Okay, now we're headed to the Tel Var Merchant. We're now in the Imperial City sewers. We're going to check out the new Tel Var Merchant.
Keep throwing.
First up, Grotwood treasure maps. I'm going to say right away, do not spend 6,000 Tel Var on a treasure map that you can buy for a few hundred gold from guild traders. But if you're curious, the gear that drops out of Grotwood is Green Pact, Ranger's Gate, and Searbane Script. You also have a chance for the Antiquity leads for Ancestral High Elf boots and maces. Those are also pretty cheap from traders, so we're just going to skip right over that. All right, Bound Affix Script Enervation. Adds Enervation, a debuff reducing critical damage. Bound Focus Script Disease Damage. Adds disease damage. And our final script is Fencer's Parry. Adds deflection of next direct damage attack. Next, we have another skill style fragment. This one is Fragment of the Storm from Tempest Island. This one is for Force Shock, Wild Burn skill style. And our leads, Face of the Serpent. This one is for Ring of the Wild Hunt and drops from the final boss of Elden Hollow 1. I don't think that one's too terrible to get. And of course, Wild Hunt is a fantastic mythic to have in your arsenal. So if you don't have it yet, snag it. But I don't think it's too difficult to get from Elden Hollow 1. Next up is Lucent Cabochon. This is for the Velothi Mage's Amulet. This particular lead drops from the public dungeon, the Underweave. Again, I don't think this one's too terrible to get. Our jewelry this week, we have Almalexia's Mercy, both the necklace and the ring, and Shieldbreaker necklace and ring. Okay, let's head over to Infinite Archive. Now let's see what we have in Infinite Archive.
Don't complain to me if you want.
First up, we have Hugh's Bane treasure maps. Again, I don't think these are worth it when they're so cheap from guild traders. But if you're curious, the gear that drops out of Hugh's Bane is Baraha's Curse and Silvara's Scales. Next up, we have our scripts. Bound Affix Script Intellect and Endurance. Adds Intellect and Endurance buffs, increasing Magicka and Stamina recovery. Bound Focus Script Poison Damage, which of course adds poison damage. Bound Signature Script Knight's Valor. Adds improved use of bash or blocking. Our style page this week is the Maw of the Infernal Mask. This drops out of Banished Cells 2 certain times of the year. You do need to run it in vet, and if you have hard mode, the hard mode achievement, that increases your chances of getting it. The RNG is pretty horrible. If you're going to buy anything with Archival Fortunes, typically I recommend the masks. The good news is the hard mode in Banished Cells 2 is not that horrible. You just have to keep the Daedroths alive for a bit. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad if you bought the mask. All right, companion equipment jewelry. This is the only thing I recommend maybe getting. The good news with jewelry is you don't have to worry about the light, medium, and heavy weights. So if you get any decent trait with jewelry, you can put it to use. Not horrible for 5,000 Archival Fortunes. Next up is Elemental Storm Violet Purple. This is a skill style. You can just purchase this one outright from Madge. I believe it's 20 Undaunted Keys. Erroneous Archive Map. Consume 20 Erroneous Archive Maps to unlock the Walk Through the Mirror Maze achievement and the Shattered Mirror Maze body marks. Here are the body marks. At 7,000 Archival Fortunes, I feel like this is way too expensive. Since you need 20 of them, you're going to get these automatically if you run your Infinite Archive dailies anyway. They will drop in order. I'll throw that up on the screen. So you will eventually get this just by running your dailies. All right, time for our leads. Our first lead is a static lead. So I'm going to ask you, please, please, please do not buy this one. This is the Dwarven Spine Coupling for the Ebon Dwarven Wolf Mount. Now, this particular one drops from the Curious Dwemer Rubble from the Rekulftzen crafting area in Elakir Desert. That means you just walk up to it, pick it up, and it's yours. There's no RNG involved. When you're looking at 17 fragments for this mount, don't buy the one that you can get the easiest. All right, next is Palladium Talon. This one is for the Torque of the Last Ayleid King. This drops from Infinite Archive, kind of at random. I think it's mostly from the side bosses, etc. This one might not be horrible to buy. However, if you're running Infinite Archive often enough, you probably already have it. Okay, let's skip our books for now. 6th House Pattern Bolt. This is for the 6th House Robe costume. It's one of 7 different pieces. It drops from Forgotten Wastes in Vardenfell. However, you can buy this. TTC says on PCNA you can buy this for 627 to 783 gold. I don't think that translates to 7,000 archival fortunes. How about you? All right, time for books. First up, we have Oath of the Keepers. This one drops from Infinite Archive. The eidetic memory, however, comes out of the Necrom Underways. You can click on the link below and see how that works. You need the eidetic memory in order to buy this one from the vendor or to have it drop from Infinite Archive. Next one also drops from Infinite Archive. This is The Dangers of Truth. It's kind of an interesting looking book. It's not quite as similar to some of the other ones as we've seen. Again, this one drops out of Infinite Archive, and the eidetic memory comes out of Cypher's Midden in Apocrypha. All right, that's everything. We're going to run a couple arcs of Infinite Archive and see what overland gear is dropping this week. And we just ran 2 arcs of Infinite Archive. Looks like this week we have gear dropping from Glenumbra that includes Bloodthorn's Touch, Hide of the Werewolf, and Weird Tree's Blessing. And then also from Murkmire, which is Brightthroat's Boast, Champion of the Hist, and Deadwater's Guile. That's going to do it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.